Today we're tackling something really fascinating, where ancient tradition meets, well, the future of finance. We're talking Zakat and cryptocurrency.
It's a huge topic right now.
Absolutely. And our mission today is basically to cut through all that complexity. We want to give you a clear, practical way to think about Zakat on your crypto. Sort of a shortcut to feeling confident about it.
Yeah, because Zakat is so fundamental. It's not just charity, right? It's purification, it's economic justice. Applying those ideas historically linked to, gold or livestock, to something like Bitcoin, that's the challenge.
Exactly. So we've looked at a pretty comprehensive guide calculating Zakat on cryptocurrency holdings, and we're going to break down the essentials for you. We'll cover not just how, but really why your digital assets might fall under this obligation.
Okay.
So first things first. Why crypto? Why does Zakat even apply here? I mean, traditionally, it's gold, silver, cattle, crops, trade goods, tangible stuff.
That's the key starting point. But Islamic scholars, they look at the underlying purpose. Zakat is about reducing inequality, helping the vulnerable, making sure wealth circulates.
Okay.
And cryptocurrency, well, it functions like money in many ways. It's a medium of exchange, a store of value, and it's definitely a tradable commodity. So because it mirrors those functions, most scholars agree, yes, it generally falls under Zakat. If you own it, the obligation likely applies.
Right, it's the function, not the form. That makes sense. So if I have some crypto, how do I know for sure if a Zakat is due? Is it automatic?
Not quite automatic, but there are clear conditions, basically three things. Does it have real monetary value? Are you holding it for growth or intending to trade it? And crucially, has its value, maybe combined with your other assets, stayed above the minimum threshold of the nisab for a full lunar year? That's the haul.
Got it. Value, intention for growth trade, and meeting nisab for a year.
If yes to those, then Zakat is generally due. This covers most of the big ones, like Bitcoin, Ethereum.
Okay, but the crypto space is wild now. It's not just Bitcoin. We have all sorts of different coins and tokens. How do we handle the differences? Because surely they aren't all treated the same for Zakat.
You're absolutely right. Nuance is key here. We need to break it down by type.
Let's do that. What about the most common scenario, actively trading crypto? Buying low, selling high, trying to make short-term profits.
Right. If that's your main goal, actively trading for profit from price swings, then your crypto holdings are seen as trade goods. Urud al-tijara in Arabic.
Trade goods.
Yeah.
Okay. So how is Zakat calculated then?
It's based on the total market value of your entire trading portfolio on your specific Zakat due date. You add up the value of everything, your initial investment, any profits you've made, as long as that total hits the nisab level.
And liabilities. Can I deduct anything? Like if I borrowed against my crypto?
Yes, definitely. Immediate liabilities can be deducted. So things like outstanding loans taken against that crypto, or maybe even transaction fees that are pending, things you owe right now, that reduces the Zakatable amount.
Okay, clear. What about stable coins? Things like Tether, USDT, USDC, BUSD, they're pegged to the dollar.
Stablecoins are much more straightforward because they're designed to mirror fiat currency like the US dollar. They're treated essentially like digital cash.
So same as money in the bank.
Exactly. You calculate Zakat on their full value, just like cash savings, assuming your total wealth meets the nisab. They're part of your total Zakatable cash equivalent.
Now for the really interesting, maybe confusing part, NFTs. Digital collectibles, art. What's the deal here?
Yeah, NFTs are definitely a newer frontier, and the guidance is more nuanced. It really depends on why you hold the NFT.
How so?
Well, if you bought an NFT purely to speculate, hoping the price goes up so you can sell it for profit.
Flipping it.
Right, flipping it. Then it acts like a trade good. Its market value would be included in your Zakat calculation each year.
But what if I just bought it because I like the art, or it has sentimental value, or maybe it gives me access to something, like a membership, and I don't really plan to sell it?
That's the key difference. If the primary intention isn't resale for profit, if it's for personal use, appreciation, or utility, then it might be treated more like personal belongings. Things like your car, your furniture assets, not typically subject to Zakat.
But NFTs are getting complex. Some represent physical things or shares in things.
Exactly. That's where it gets very specific. If an NFT represents, say, ownership of a rental property, Zakat rules for rental income might apply to that underlying asset. If it's fractional ownership, your share is considered. Honestly, given how fast this space moves, for anything beyond simple speculation or personal use, it's highly recommended you talk to a knowledgeable Islamic scholar about your specific NFTs. Intention and underlying asset are critical.
Good advice. Seek guidance for the complex cases. Okay, one more category. Crypto mining. If I earn new coins through mining.
Yes, profits from mining are definitely zakatable. Once you acquire those new coins and you hold them for a full lunar year, the haul, and their value meets the nisab, either on their own or with your other assets, then yeah, zakat is due at the usual 2.5% rate. You need to account for them as income you've held.
Okay, so we know what might be zakatable. Now, the mechanics. How do you actually calculate it? Walk us through the steps.
Right, the process. It needs structure. First step. Choose your date. You need a specific, consistent date each lunar year. That's your zakat anniversary or haul date. You assess all your zakatable assets on this day every year. Consistency is crucial.
And valuing crypto. It's so volatile. Do I average the price over the year or just pick a value?
Good question. While averaging might seem fair, it's incredibly complex for crypto. The most common and practical method, the one many scholars advise, is a snapshot valuation.
A snapshot.
Yeah, you take the market value of your crypto holdings exactly on your zakat anniversary date. Use a reliable source, like a major exchange or data provider. This gives you a clear, verifiable number for that moment. Then you convert that value into your local currency, dollars, euros, whatever.
Okay, snapshot valuation in local currency on the zakat date. Got it. Now, the nisab, the threshold, how does that work for crypto?
Right, the nisab. It's the minimum wealth level. For currencies and trade goods, which is where most crypto falls, the nisab is traditionally tied to the value of either gold or silver, specifically 87.48 grams of pure gold or 612.36 grams of pure silver.
Wait, gold or silver? Do I just pick one? Does it matter which?
It does matter, and you do pick one. While gold is often mentioned, there's a strong argument, especially for benefiting the poor, for using the silver standard.
Why silver?
Because the value of that amount of silver is usually much lower than the value of the gold equivalent. A lower nisab means more people qualify to pay zakat, which increases the total zakat collected and distributed. Ah, that's really interesting. So choosing silver potentially helps more people. But the key is consistency.
Exactly. Choose either gold or silver, find its value on your zakat date, and stick with that standard year after year.
So how do I find that value? Let's say I chose gold.
You'd find the market price per gram of gold in your local currency on your zakat date. Reputable financial news sites, bullion dealers, even central bank sites often have this. Then multiply that price by 87.48. So if gold is, say, $70 a gram, the nisab is 87.48 times 70, which is $623.60.
Okay. And if my total zakatable wealth, crypto plus cash, etc., is above that $623.60 on my zakat date,
then zakat is obligatory.
And the rate is always?
Always 2.5% of the total zakatable wealth that's above the nisab. So using that example, if your total wealth is $10,000 and the nisab is $623.60, you paid 2.5% of the full $10,000.
Which is $250.
Precisely.
Let's talk timing and practicalities. When do I actually pay? Is it based on when I bought the crypto? Not when you bought it, but based on the haul that lunar year. Zakat becomes due annually once your wealth hits the nisab and stays at or above it for a full lunar year, roughly 354 days. You establish your zakat anniversary date, and you calculate and pay based on your wealth on that specific date each year.
And with crypto prices swinging wildly, record keeping must be a nightmare, but absolutely essential.
Oh, vital. Couldn't be more important. You need a detailed log. Keep track of purchase dates, sale dates, prices. Record any crypto you receive from mining, staking, airdrops the date, and value when received. Track crypto you send out too.
And the value on the zakat date itself.
Crucial. Get screenshots or records from your exchange or tracker showing your portfolio value on that specific zakat anniversary date. Keep it all organized, ideally digitally. It makes the calculation so much easier and more accurate.
Definitely sounds like good practice. What about paying the zakat itself? Can I just send Bitcoin to a charity?
That's a practical question. The main goal of zakat is to benefit the recipients directly and easily. While some charities are starting to accept crypto, the widely preferred view is to pay in a form they can readily use. Usually that means cash. If you pay in crypto, you need to be sure the charity can easily convert it to fiat without losing much to fees or delays.
So probably safer to convert it myself first.
Generally, yes. Convert the 2.5% zakat amount from crypto into your local currency and then donate the cash. That ensures the benefit gets through effectively.
Okay, and the volatility question again. What if my crypto value tanks after my zakat date? Let's say I calculated $250 zakat, but then the market crashes. Do I still owe $250?
Yes, you do. Zakat is assessed based on the snapshot value on your zakat anniversary. If your wealth met the nisab on that date, the obligation for that year is fixed, What happens to the value afterwards doesn't change that year's zakat.
But it affects next year.
Absolutely. If, on your next zakat anniversary, your wealth has dropped significantly below the nisab, then zakat might not be due for that following year. It's always based on the snapshot on that specific date, year by year.
This field is evolving so fast. Are scholars all on the same page about crypto zakat, or is there still debate?
It's dynamic, for sure. There's a strong consensus that zakat is generally due on cryptocurrency. That's fairly settled. But the finer points, specific valuation methods for complex derivatives, how to categorize every new type of token, dealing with DeFi complexities, there can be diverse scholarly opinions on those cutting-edge issues.
So it's important to stay informed.
Very. Reputable scholars and institutions are constantly issuing new guidance. Always seek knowledge from trusted sources, and don't be afraid to consult a qualified scholar if you have complex holdings or encounter conflicting advice.
Are there any tools that can help simplify all this? Zakat calculators, maybe.
Yes, definitely. Many online zakat calculators exist now, and some are specifically designed to handle cryptocurrency.
How do you choose a good one?
Look for calculators from reputable Islamic financial institutions, major charities, or academic bodies. Check if they clearly explain their methodology, how they determine nisab, how they value crypto. They can be really helpful, especially for complex portfolios. But treat them as an aid, not the final word.
Use your own judgment, too.
Exactly. Personal due diligence is still essential, and consulting a scholar when needed is always the best approach.
So, wrapping this up, paying zakat on crypto. It's clearly an important duty for you if you're a Muslim holding these digital assets. It sounds like understanding the principles, valuation, nisab, record keeping is key to doing it confidently.
It really is, and remember the spirit behind it. Zakat is a pillar of Islam. It purifies your wealth, and it's a direct way to support those less fortunate. Fulfilling it sincerely, it strengthens your faith, your connection to the community. It's powerful.
Absolutely. And as we finish this deep dive, maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over. Isn't it remarkable how an ancient principle like zakat, designed centuries ago for tangible wealth, finds such relevant application in the world of blockchain and digital currency?
Yeah.
It really shows that those core values, responsibility, purification, social good, they truly transcend technology, no matter how fast it changes. Something powerful to keep in mind as we navigate this digital age.